A very young classical composer in England is now living her very own fairy tale. Alma Deutscher began playing the piano when she was 2 and the violin a year later. And now she has written and composed her first opera at just 11 years of age. Her achievements are now drawing comparisons with another child prodigy of some repute, Amadeus Mozart. Alma's opera version of Cinderella premieres this week in Vienna, where Mozart, in fact, spent much of his adult life. Seth Doane spoke with her during rehearsals.
In a rehearsal packed with talent, one performer sticks out, and not just because she's 11 years old, or because she effortlessly switches between playing the violin and the piano. Alma Deutscher composed this music, an entire opera.
And then here, yes.
I love you said that, yeah.
Coming up with the original score and plot lines for her version of Cinderella took a lot of work, she admits, but she juggled it as any child prodigy might.
Well, I actually started it when I was 8, and I was collecting lots of material for it, and I wrote arias, but it was always at the back of my mind, and in between I was writing my violin concerto.
Did we mention she's 11?
She started singing, essentially, before she started speaking.
Her dad, Guy Deutsche, told us Alma always had creativity bubbling inside her like a volcano.
I think the greatest moment is when we realized that she was playing her own melodies.
In the beginning, my parents thought that I might just be trying to remember something I'd heard, not managing. But I said, no, it's my own melody.
She says the melodies come to her when she's most relaxed. Often that's while playing with her younger sister Helen near their home outside London. At a break from rehearsal in Vienna, she showed us her secret.
A magic skipping rope.
Yes.
Why is it magic?
Well, because you see, when I wave it around like this, and I tell stories in my mind, then a melody sometimes just springs into my head.
That's how she came up with parts of her opera.
Tell me about your Cinderella. She's different.
Yes, it's a completely different story because, you see, the whole thing takes place in an opera house.
Which is why Alma's Cinderella is a composer. She wanted her title character to have brains and not just be pretty.
In my Cinderella, I thought it was a little bit silly that Cinderella was found by a shoe, wire shoe. But in my story, then, the prince finds her with a melody. So before Cinderella flees, at midnight, then she sings the beginning of a ballad. He remembers how it starts, but not how it continues. And he's in despair, he'll never find her. Until finally he has the brainwave. He'll search everywhere in the kingdom and sing the beginning of the melody. And only the girl who can finish it in the right way will be the one he's looking for.
In a fairy tale twist of her own life, she gave an interview in which she said her dream was to have her opera's European debut in Vienna. And voila, a Viennese group, Opera, heard the story and invited her here.
Did you ever think that you would be seeing your own opera performed?
Well, I think if someone told me many years ago that my opera would be performed in Vienna, the capital of music, then I would have laughed. I would have thought it was a joke.
When she wasn't rehearsing or talking with us, we found she'd grab a book. She says she reads about 100 of them a year.
You don't have an iPhone.
No, I don't.
You don't have an iPad.
No.
You computer?
No, I don't.
Television?
No, I don't watch television at all. It's much more interesting to read a book and actually imagine how it would be and skip in my skipping rope.
This should probably be a lesson to all of us.
Yes.
Who are lost in our phones.
Yes, I think it just ruins the mind and it's a waste of time.
I agree,
Yes.
but I still do it.
I'll just play from before.
Alma explains she has an imaginary music school in her brain.
Better, yeah.
And when she skips with that rope, she hears the work of those make-believe composers and simply takes what she likes. She bridges two worlds and, lucky for the rest of us, shares what she hears, turning make-believe real. For CBS This Morning, Seth Doan, Vienna, Austria.